It's not clickbait. I I don't know what happened. Um, I'm not usually one to remember my dreams. So I was very surprised when I woke up and I actually realized, hey, it wasn't an immediate one to the other. I actually remembered something or remnants of something because I don't really have the ability to visualize things in my head, which is a bit of a blessing and a curse at sometimes. But um, yeah, about 3 weeks ago, uh, I was going through a very interesting time in my life. I hadn't really had any purpose to do anything, so I was praying a lot, and I guess in some form or the other, God maybe responded to me for once. So the actual dream itself, it was incredibly weird. It was set, or what I remember of it, anyways. It was set in a modern day cafe, and it was me and Jesus Christ opposite me. And I was dressed as the Roman soldier, as a Roman soldier, and I had no idea what was going on. I was just sitting there, and he was just opposite me, and so he was opposite me, and he was talking to me about how nice it is to meet me and all that kind of stuff. And he told me that I was playing or being the character, the Roman soldier that crucified Jesus Christ physically by hammering the nails into his hands and into his feet. Um, and it was a very surreal experience. And we started having a conversation, and it was going on and on and on and on and on and on. And then, as the conversation went on and on, I looked down, and bits of me were like moving. Uh, for example, my back was sort of moving like that, and I was tilting my head up, and my skin and flesh was almost moving on its own, and I could feel it all. Like I could feel everything that was happening as if I was actually there and I was actually doing this. Um, and it was quite painful actually. And as the whole thing went on, um, Jesus Christ sitting opposite me the whole time was telling me how much God hated me and didn't like me, how much of a mistake I was, and how much like how I should just quit in everything, and how I should just give up being me, I suppose. And I didn't really take into consideration what he was saying at the moment, considering my fucking flesh was like moving on its own and like attaching to different parts of my body. But it was very, very surreal. And I wasn't like lucid dreaming because I couldn't control what I was doing. I was sort of following a script in a way. Um, and the conversation just like kept going over time naturally, and it was sort of towards the end I sort of took into consideration everything that he was saying, and I was like, why? I finally asked the big question, the $1 million question, why? And instead of answering that question, by this time I was sort of contorted in a position I can't really explain. I was sort of in multiple states at once, and Jesus Christ just went like that, and I was back to normal. Um, and he was still telling me how much God hated me, and excuse me, how much how much God hated me and all that kind of stuff, and how like I wouldn't amount to anything and all that kind of stuff. And he sort of just fixed me, and I looked down, I was like, oh my God, you fixed me. And he was like, yeah, because I'm the one that can fix you. And I don't really understand what that meant, and I still don't really understand what that meant. And then I actually woke up and realized it was a dream, and I was beyond belief as to what has just happened. I had no idea what that meant, and yeah, I have no idea what just happened. I actually tried speaking to a couple friends of mine about it, and they were just as confused as I was. They thought I was joking, because I usually make jokes all the time about this kind of stuff, but this actually happened, and this was very weird. Um, but yeah, that's just what I want to talk about. I'm sorry about my camera quality. It's not amazing. I'm trying to sort that out at the moment. Um, but yeah, thank you for watching, and please let me know what you think this means. See ya.